My name is Cutelle Neymour, and I am the co-owner of Gombe House, True Love Travel, and the latest project, Bohemian Bistro. Travel is definitely my therapy, and over the past 10 years, I would say whenever things were going bad for me, once I hopped on a flight and I returned, I came back energetic, very ready to take on any task. So travel is definitely my therapy, the way for me to go, restart, refresh, revive, and rejuvenate. So about 2 years ago, after I lost my husband to cancer, I suffered depression, anxiety, and at that same time, I had taken a trip for 3 weeks. I had taken two months vacation, and I took a trip for 3 weeks. I went to Southeast Asia. And when I returned, I was still very depressed. And I was forced to resign from my job because of this. I just could not work. I wasn't in a good space mentally. And I picked up for, I would say, 2 months. I left the country by myself, and I headed to India. So I had like a eat, pray, love moment. And I visited at that time about 14 different countries. I would simply wake up and say, you know what, I'm headed this place for the day. There were only 3 countries that I knew I had to visit during that time. It was South Africa, Kenya, and India. But in between, I just decided where I wanted to go every 2 days. So I would consider it backpacking through Europe. I did that. And I visited, I think, like 10 countries in Europe during that period. Once I got back, well, during the trip, I did research for Gombe House. That was the reason for me taking the trip as well. So I visited multiple countries. I did multiple cooking classes in each country. I researched where there were classes and what I could actually put together and bring back to Nassau. Once I returned to Nassau, I opened Gombe House within a week. Set it up, everything, because during that period, while I was away, I was able to lock down a location. I knew what I wanted. I knew how I wanted the space to be. I knew how I wanted the classes to flow. And it was easy for us to just open our doors 1 week later. I think for me, over the past 2 years, I probably visited at least 30 countries, 30 to 40 countries. So this year, for me, I always wanted to focus on the business. I already said that I would take a step back from travel and focus primarily on, new business ideas, new business ventures. So I used the time to really work on these new ideas. So the beginning of the year, at least I would say beginning of the pandemic, in March, I went to Europe to begin my research for the new business venture that we just launched. And I actually got stuck in Iceland. They closed the borders. I purchased a new ticket to fly home. And once I returned, it was pretty much just focusing on the business. You really didn't know what was next. Gombe House had to close completely because we couldn't offer any classes. Right from the back, we were like, okay, we cannot keep our doors closed. So we introduced Gombe Bite, which is an extension of the business that we offer takeout and delivery services. We created a menu, and we just created new deals, things that were not offered locally to keep the doors open. So that's what we did. We held virtual classes online where we talked about different issues or concerns that local entrepreneurs were experiencing during the time, and we would cook and talk about, learn new recipes. We hosted a few virtual cooking classes. So that's been our way to adapt during this period. For me personally, I always wanted to tick every Bahamian island, and that was one of my goals, my travel goals for 2020, to visit every Bahamian island. Because we have so much to offer here. I don't think we take advantage of our local experiences, and Bahamians, we then realize, okay, we cannot travel abroad. Let's take advantage of going to Inagua or San Salvador, Exoma, and seeing the swimming pigs. So during that period, the first 3 months, I would think, we decided to launch with True Love Travel. We decided to launch Bahamas Bucket List. which we knew we could not explore internationally, but we could definitely explore locally. So it would be travel. I took a trip. I'm trying to remember where it was. It may have been to Montreal, Canada last year, December. Visited a food court. Initially, the goal was to introduce a food court to Nassau, similar to what we saw in Montreal. And then, so the first 3 months, it was pretty much a straight research, visiting different countries that would have it. And like I said, I got stuck in Iceland. That trip primarily was for me to do research. And just going online during the first couple weeks that we were stuck at home, I went online and I realized too, with Gombe House, we were faced with all of these expenses, rent, staff, and not bringing in any income. So we had to make some changes, and I realized all of us small business owners in Nassau, we were closed restaurant owners, and I knew what we wanted to do for the food court, and we decided, you know what, it's best for all of us to come together. And this is a new trend that it's really blown up since the pandemic worldwide. It's still fairly new in the United States. So for us, we're on top of our game with introducing Bahamian Bistro for restaurant owners to have the shared costs. The whole concept is a virtual food hall, shared kitchen, ghost kitchen concept, where multiple restaurant owners or vendors or pop-ups can have a space to sell their product in a restaurant environment with sharing the costs. So you don't have to pay that heavy overhead of rent or staff or materials or equipment. We provide that for you. We market it, we advertise it, we sell the product for you, pretty much. Like I said, I took a trip about 2 months ago to the western coast of the United States. That trip was primarily research work. It looked like fun. A lot of my trips look like fun, but it's primarily research and work on what we can introduce in the variety of businesses like Gombe House, Gombe Bites, True Love Travel, and now Bahamian Bistro. And a few of the restaurants I went to, they had barcodes. It was not something here as yet. I see now a few of the restaurants have introduced a barcode. It limits interaction with the staff. So we introduced it where you can view your menu, you can pay for your food, we receive it in the kitchen, and we bring it out to you. That's the only interaction we would have. We also note that some persons don't want to do that. They don't understand the barcode system. So we do give you the opportunity to have a server take your order from you like the traditional way. So, but that has been exciting. A lot of people, they're excited about it, to see something new. Oh, we can scan, we can pay, we don't even have to see you, we don't have to talk to you. So that's been very receptive so far. Bahamian Bistro, the food archipelago, is primarily to showcase Bahamian culture, Bahamian food, Bahamian people, what we're all about here in the Bahamas. So for us, our target market right now, of course, it's locals. But we want when tourists come here, they're just taking pictures of, the sand on the floor. That's exciting. We brought the beach to them. They don't get to go to the beach. They can come here and put their feet in the sand here at Bahamian Bistro. Also using young artists, Bahamian artists. Our goal is to have our staircase painted with each island of the Bahamas. So when tourists, locals, whoever take a picture, the Bahamas is always represented. Outside, we want to do a large painting that says the Bahamas is yours. So there's so many things that we want to do. This is not going to be the only location for Bahamian Bistro. We want Bahamian Bistro to be on every island. And we want everyone to be a part of it. It's not just us who are originally involved. We want to include everyone, all Bahamians. Okay, so for Bahamian Bistro, the food archipelago, we have a variety of vendors. We also want, when persons come here, they can take a world tour. So you can't go to Japan, but you can have sushi at Bahamian Bistro. You can't go to Italy, but you can have pasta at Bahamian Bistro with Sage Nassau. Gombe Bites offer Mexican cuisine. So you can't get to Mexico? Come here. We also have new restaurants such as the South Haven and the Junkanoo Club, which is primarily and strictly Bahamian food. We also have a few silent partners, persons that they had an idea and they wanted to execute it, but they had issues, so they needed our assistance. Like we have Let's Juice, which is strictly juices and smoothies and bowls, healthy bowls and healthy salads. So for us, we have Bella Buns. They were birthed through the pandemic, so they're selling their Cinnabuns. You can actually dine in and have a bun with a cup of coffee for breakfast. So we've introduced Pastry Haven, which is deluxe cheesecakes, and they have a guava duff cheesecake, so you can get that in-house. Very delicious. We also have Holy Smoke Barbecue. If you know, in Nassau, we have to get our barbecue off the side of the road. No offense. But sometimes you want to actually sit and dine in or have it delivered to your home. So Holy Smoke is bringing to you smoked foods, grilled foods. Here at Bahamian Bistro, we also have Island Delight Daiquiri conch salad. So we're taking conch salad from Porterski Dock and bringing it to you at Bahamian Food Archipelago. So being here, you have options. The thing about Bahamian Bistro and a virtual kitchen or a ghost kitchen, shared kitchen as they would call it, you don't have to be present. So for example, Let's Juice, they're not here. We share the cost of the staff. They train our staff how to make their product. So you don't have to be on site. Once our staff know how to cook the product, we're all good. I'm excited about travel for the future because I think most of us, we traveled and we took it for granted. I think now you will want to travel more. Like you would want to visit these different countries because now you had time to do some research. You had time to look it up online and see these different countries that you would want to visit. You realize, you know, you're wasting time. Like you need to take advantage of taking trips. My name is Cutelle Neymour and travel is my everything.